Good morning, everyone. This is Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. The screen is shuttered, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to replace it step by step. So first thing, I would suggest you, if you want to replace your screen, get the genuine part, which is a little bit expensive, but it's really good because once you change the screen, you don't feel any difference like this is brand new phone or your used broken one. So the first thing, switch it off and take out the SIM tray. Okay, and then you should have some basic tools. As you can see, the flat opening tool, plastic metal, and also you should have ordinary hair dryer. Okay, that's the minimum requirement because we need to take out the back cover. The back cover is really stiff with that adhesive underneath. So 2200 or 1800 watts hair dryer should work. So what are you going to do once it's switched off? You're going to flip the phone. You're going to apply heat. Remember, the heat wouldn't damage the phone, to be honest, if you use good quality hair dryer, so keep blowing it and don't keep in one place for so long. Keep moving like that, and once you feel the back cover pop a little bit or little bit loosen, then what you should do, you can use any sort of plastic tool. I'm really sorry I'm using metal because the back cover is broken anyway, so try to use something thin like that. The plastic card is really good, but the problem is sometimes when you use the plastic card, because of the back cover is too hot, so it just get melt down inside. Okay, that's the reason I prefer this sort of aluminum. But the problem with those are like blade razor sharp, and that can leave some scratches. Okay, but if the back cover is damaged like my one, then it's fine, you can carry on. Okay, so if you think this is from a repair shop, if you're a technician, it's always good to have this sort of LCD temperature separator or LCD separator. I set up the temperature around 112 degrees Celsius and I left it for 5 minutes. Okay, and afterwards I found this is quite soft and I can easily pull out this back cover. Remember, when you produce the video, sometimes we can't, okay, to make it precise and straight to the point. But in reality, it's not that easy and simple. It takes time, So if you see the back cover is not coming out, don't put any pressure or don't do rush. Otherwise, you're going to crack it easily. Believe me, this is too easy to get cracked than you think. So let's take this out. Then we're going to take out every single component by removing all the screws from the mid frame and from NFC frame, and then we're going to pull out the main board, all the secondary and aux cables, flex cables connector in there, and then we're going to take out the charging port, every single component, and then we'll put it back to the new replacement screen, and we'll reverse back what we done. But here is the key point. First things, you have to be very careful when you apply the heat and when you pull the back cover. Second one, try to disconnect the battery as early as possible. Before you disconnect your battery, don't touch or use any kind of metal tools in the motherboard or any other component around inside. Okay, so let's see what is next. Hopefully that should be fine. So after spending 10 minutes, I was able to pull out this back cover. Now we can see there are many screws around this mid frame. So take a Phillips screwdriver and remove all the screws. Those screws are same in size. Don't worry. You can just leave it anywhere, or you can keep organized much better so you don't forget. So we're going to take out all the screws from the mid frame and from NFC frame, and then we're going to take any sort of plastic pry tool to disconnect two connectors in there and disconnect the battery first. As you can see, I just removed, and those are the secondary cable. We can remove it. Okay, try to be gentle while you do that because those flex cables are really weak, and don't try to remove this NFC adhesive. Instead, remove all the screws from the bottom side, and then you can pull out the mid frame with the NFC. So in that way, there is less risk to rip off this NFC film. You can use plastic tool, but if you don't have, you can try the metal one. So don't push too much inside deep, otherwise you're going to damage the charging port, and it should come out after a few attempts. I try not to cut any part of this video so you can learn from the mistakes. And as you can see, this one came off completely. And now we're going to remove all flex connector that you can see. The front facing camera, then S Pen connector, and keep those organized. Remember, those cable has identity mark in there. As you can see, it says main and says sub. So the main one goes to the main motherboard, and sub goes to charging port or other part of this main connectors. So take a flat opening tool. After removing 3 screws, we can pull the charging port out. Now, here is the challenge to take out the front facing camera. There was some sort of adhesive, so it took a little bit of struggle, but it came off. Now, I'm trying to find the gap where I can pry it. So I think this side would be easier, which is right hand side. And before you pull it, just be gentle. See how it comes. I can see this screen already been replaced, and that's the reason why it's much more softer than it is. So removing battery is a kind of challenge most of the time, especially for Samsung or any Android. What I use is, I use 99.99% rubbing alcohol or PCB cleaner spray can. If you do regularly this job, you can buy it from online, and as you can see how simple it is, it just came off. Okay. And pretty much that's all we need to remove. This is the main board, battery, all fine. This is such a tiny connector, and pretty much that's all. And as you can see, S Pen connector and power connector, those comes with the original screen. And this is the charging port. But as you can see, there are some sort of liquid damage. It's all fine. All right. So once every single component removed from the broken screen housing, what you need to do, we need to put it back. So let's say, for example, this is the replacement screen. I just give it a clean little bit because I can see there are some dirt. Might be they opened it before. However, so let's say this is the replacement screen. Then what you need to do, you need to start from the bottom. So as you can see, check the alignment when you put the charging board. Make sure you don't push it too hard, otherwise you're going to damage it. It's really sensitive. And then it should go to the correct alignment. Put 3 screws. Remember, don't over tighten those screws. If you do, you damage the PCB and it might have many issues, not only the screen. Okay. To put the main board is kind of challenging because there are few flex cables. As you can see, the S Pen cable is a kind of obstructing to put it back. So I always try to put the camera side first into the housing, and then the right hand side goes later on, which is right next to the S Pen connector. And then put the front facing camera. It's so easy, you can do. And always careful when you connect those connectors, especially the LCD one, because those are really fragile and quite soft. And afterwards, we're gonna just put the battery. We're not gonna connect the battery now. We'll connect the battery at the end. So when you push it down, check the alignment. You're gonna hear a click noise. If you see it doesn't make any sort of clicking noise, then don't push it too hard. Double check why it's not clicking. Might be it's not in the correct angle. And then try to put the charging board mid frame, which is the speaker one, like that, and put all the screws. I used automatic precision screwdriver because I do open every single day, like 2, 3, 4, 5, depend on how many I have. And if I use the manual screwdriver, it's quite hard for me. And this is mid frame anyway, so it's not that dangerous. Okay, but if you use any sort of precision automatic tools, please be careful, especially the power tools could be dangerous sometimes. So now I don't have any choice. I need to connect the battery because we're going to put the NFC frame, and the battery connector is underneath the NFC frame, so we don't have any choice. Now let's start this one. Check how I hold my fingers and how I close it. It would be absolutely like that. And then now all the screws goes back. Once the screws are put into the place, then we just need to put the back cover in. However, I'm going to use the broken back cover that I have. If you do break the back cover, don't worry, it's not a big deal. You can just get the replacement, the copy one, around 5 to 10 pounds. But try not to break it, because if you buy copy one, the camera lens is not too good, and it's going to affect on the picture quality if you buy the copy one. So I can see the phone is turning on, and I'm going to give it a check. Right, so the screen is fine. Now we're going to put back everything and the back cover on, and the job would be done. So once you've done that part, make sure you give it a charge and check if the charging port does work, because we removed it. And to put the back cover on, what you need to do, to be honest, clean any leftover adhesive. So sometimes I do receive this sort of question, like if you replace the screen, if that is waterproof any longer. The answer is no. It's impossible to make it waterproof again, because if you buy even those sealed, waterproof seal, don't work like factory. So it's charging all fine. Thank you so much for watching. Still, if you do have any question, leave it in the comment section, and I hope I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.